Woohoo! Welcome to Conversations with Beth, where curiosity meets connection. I'm Beth Lees, a lifelong spiritual explorer, a passionista, and a lover of deep, meaningful conversations and those holy shift moments that happen when suddenly your perspective changes. This is all about getting to know amazing people in a fun and intimate way through interesting connections, questions that spark laughter, insight. So let's get comfy, open your heart, and let's dive into some real soulful conversation. This episode is super extra special to me. Seema Dasani isn't just my guest today. She's been my therapist. She's been a great teacher and a powerful catalyst for transformation in my own life. And through our work together, I've made some big, holy shifts that I'd been struggling for years to make peace with. She is a licensed professional counselor, an eidetic image psychologist, and a luminous guide for anyone seeking meaning, freedom, and wholeness. So let's dive in and chat about healing, curiosity, and the power of truly seeing ourselves. Welcome, Seema.
Well, thank you, Beth. I didn't expect that introduction. Thank you. It's good to be here.
It's so good to see you.
So good to see
Um,
you.
so tell me a little bit about how you got from because I've known you over a long period of time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Tell me how you got from where you were maybe 20 years ago to where you are today.
Oh my God. Actually, when you say 20 years, I was just thinking back, some like milestone times, like I'm ethnically Indian, born in Hong Kong, came to America for college. And then after that, I got into a consulting firm, but sort of a really, high achiever, grind, grind, grind in that mode. I always tell people the story. Like when I had my daughter, I read 20 years ago, I read like books and did an Excel spreadsheet, but like, I'm going to nail this birth, no problem. That didn't quite work out that way. But like at
I'm so
33,
surprised to hear that.
so at 33, when I was kind of like full throttle in my career, being a new mom, I went back to work, but like I just like I hit a wall. There's something that happened, and looking back, whether it was just this depth of despair, I just remember like I just wanna get up in the morning. I mean, it was a really place I've never been, because I was able to like muscle myself forward for so long. And that's when sort of the purview of holistic care came in because I within that cry of the heart,
Yeah.
everywhere I looked was like, do this holistic health coaching program. And I was like, what is this? But I kept my job and I did it. And that started opening up doors for me to get into, companies and just doing more mindfulness and wellness stuff. Okay. So I kind of got that kind of going. And then at 36, 37, I started kind of dabbling into more spiritual things. And that might be the world where I met you. I think that
I
was,
think it
I've known you
is.
for a lifetime. Yeah. So, and I felt that was really great because it opened my landscape up. I was like, because growing up in Hong Kong, I actually grew up in a pretty spiritual family. My dad is very anchored spiritually. And so I felt like when I left Hong Kong, I like left that all behind. And so to reconnect in my 35, 36 to the spiritual world was really amazing. It was great. The only thing I would say I felt at that time leading up to 39, which is another threshold moment, was I felt really good in those retreats and workshops and touching the spirit realm. But then when I would like go back to my life, I'd feel really off. And it's
Like
like
it wasn't integrated.
it wasn't at all integrated, and it was just like I felt very like split. And so I remember I was in a 39 around then. I was in a workshop heavy time. So I was in a compassionate communications workshop and again, you have to picture, me now, but back then, very put together, like, very corporate, type. And I remember like it was time to introduce myself and I said, "Hi, my name is Seema. I want to speak my truth. I don't know what that is." And I started bawling. And so
Wow.
that's when somebody gave me the name of a therapist. And you have to again, like growing up as an Indian woman from Hong Kong, I'm like, what is therapy? What is a therapist? And she happened to be an expert in the field of eidetic imagery. I didn't know any of this. So when I look at it as sort of this divine moment, me at 39 in a workshop, just saying what I said, for somebody to hand me the name of my then therapist, who's an expert in the field of eidetics, and the whole transition from that into my own therapeutic healing to eventually, going along with it and being trained in kind of how to run some groups because I was using my coaching background because I'm a holistic health coach too. So I started running some groups, and you actually were in some of the early ones.
Yes, I
Um,
was.
and and I remember there was one group, I don't think you were in that one. There was one group that had like four therapists in it, and they just said, Seema, like, you're good at this thing. Like, why don't you go back to school and get licensed? And I was like, I was 48 at that time. I was like, am I not too old? Like, and so
No,
then
Seema, life's
I
not
know,
over.
I know. So I went back to school, and that's it. I went back to school and became a licensed therapist. And when I graduated, my daughter graduated high school.
I love
And
that.
here I am, sort of in full licensure and just excited, about. So I've been really immersed in eidetics since 39. I'm 52 now. So it's been a personal healing into now seeing the impact of the work and being really passionate about it, and using it very predominantly, in my healing.
I
So,
love that. So this is this is the question that I always have to ask because even though I've been a client of yours for several years and I love the work, I struggle to describe how eidetic imagery is. What the heck is that?
okay. So this is it. So it's funny. Of course, like I didn't prepare too much for this meeting, but I was like, let me at least get like a little definition down. So, and I don't like to use jargon so much,
Right,
and so what I'd like to do is just read a very basic definition, and then we can like really talk around it because obviously you're quite familiar with the word. I mean, you're very
right.
familiar with it. So I'm just going to read it. So
Perfect.
the people listening and watching have like a baseline. Okay. So the technique eidetic imagery is an evidence-based ancient practice. I do this only for credibility. Evidence-based ancient practice that gives one access to deep unconscious currents of emotion, essence, and intuition. It's a highly effective way of concretizing a problem situation into vivid images. Think scenes from a movie that can be accessed, walked around, magnified, where stuck and frozen old hurts and pains get examined, worked on, and metabolized to enable a healing elixir to flow into the mind and body. So that's really eidetics in a nutshell. It's being able to, because a lot of our experiences in our lives get coded in our brains. Like a trauma event, a stuck emotion, a frozen hurt. It gets like stored, and it's like almost a file in a file cabinet. Using the right technique and prompt, those files can come out of storage, examined, walked around, and very different from memory, right? And it gets us out of narratives because people tend to go, oh, yeah, I had this kind of parent, and my mom was like this, my dad was like this. And it has a dead end quality when you think about, your experiences that way. But what the eidetics does is it's like, okay, see an image of. That's the initial prompt. See an image of. You concretize the situation. I like to work with present day problems because inevitably it takes us back to the past. Because we could work an image about what's going on for you now. As we navigate, before you know it, you're 4 years old talking to mom, And so then that frozen hurt and stuck pocket can come up, can be looked at, can be worked on. And what I love most about eidetic images is not to bring up that old hurt to re-traumatize that person all over again, but because there's a wisdom in these images that when they get accessed, the healing elixir is right there. It's almost like through the portal of pain of the original hurt, the healing response is right there. The solution is right there. The empowerment and nourishment is right there. That's why I love it so much. And it,
I love that. So so that's a great explanation. I never could have said it like that. So, as you know, and as some of the listeners know, I was blessed with a very challenging childhood. and experienced many variations on a theme of abuse, including mental and emotional abuse, ongoing sexual abuse at a very young age. And my healing journey started in my teens. And over the past blah, 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 4 or 5 decades, I have I've been in ongoing therapy. I've seen lots, not a lot of therapists. I had some really great therapists that I saw for long periods of time. And I struggled for many years, and I'm not saying I don't struggle with some of this now, but I struggled for many years with deep feelings of despair, of and pain, of abandonment, uh, loneliness, the pain of not being seen, not being heard. And it not only affected my relationships with my, um, my immediate, birth family, but also bled out all over a lot of other relationships in my life. And our work together using eidetic imagery really created a holy shift for me. Like it wasn't just a moment, but it was like, wow, I don't have to struggle. I don't feel that pain as deeply and in as many areas of my life as I have before. It was like somebody flipped a switch, kind of.
Mhm.
And I'm
So
so grateful to you for all our work together
thank you,
because of
Beth.
that.
Thank you, Beth. But so in true fashion, and you've been so open, and you said that this is a very open conversation. So I'm gonna
Absolutely.
go right there. So I see emotion, obviously,
Of
on your
course.
face. So tell me about that. Tell me
Uh,
what's going on for you.
for me, it's all about the gratitude that I have for that.
Mm.
And um, it's really easy for me to tap into that pain, when I talk about it, but I don't feel like it bleeds out all over the place.
Yeah. So one of the things I want to sort of reflect back to you is, as I think about the work and what makes the work effective is, obviously there's a field, there's a, container, there's the technique, all of it, but truly it's the people who do the work. And I want to just reflect back that you show up when you come, like there is just the sinking into the field because the field is there. It's a co-created field. And I think I mentioned to you before, it's like the unconscious of one recognizes the unconscious of another that's been through it. So having navigated my journey, the question has always been burning for me is what nourishes me, what feeds me, and that's been the thing
Mhm.
that burns. And through the inner process found the inner wellspring of nourishment. All right. So I
Yeah.
think that's the field. That's great. The technique, great. But the person, when they come in with the integrity and the desire to heal, and they go there. Because at any moment when it got a little painful or very painful, you go to some really deep places, and that's why the healing has been so profound. You could have at any point said, no, no, thank you. Okay, goodbye. But you didn't. That's what I'm
Well,
really trying to say, that you didn't. You just showed up and you worked the images. The images have to be worked. The work is
right.
yours.
Yeah,
I've
of
heard
course it is.
this
Healing
phrase,
our
yeah.
it's our own healing journey. Nobody
But
else can
that's
do
why I
that.
really want to reflect the gratitude and even for yourself, just that the you're showing up. For me, I mean, I was doing an interview the other day, and I said I'm just in awe. Like it's an honor sitting across from somebody that goes there and does the work. It's
Thank
incredible
you.
to witness. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Woohoo. So you want to do a little demo?
Yeah.
Let's do a demo because I think it's hard for people to understand what it's like.
Yeah. Let's do
And
it.
I really want people to be able to see what the process is like.
Okay.
Because
Well, I'm gonna
it's
do. How
not like other therapy that I've done before.
So I want to do something that, because I think we have time maybe to do a couple demos. The
Yep.
one I want to do the one that, like around a problem situation, but I actually want to do the filters one just to give people a very visceral because they can do it with us, if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah, I
Okay.
love that.
So it's a four-pronged prompt. It just starts, just see an image of you crossing a road and just tell me what you see. I'm going to be looking down mostly because I'm going to use my very fancy legal pad to write down your responses since I'm using the laptop for this recording. So just seeing an image of you crossing the road. What do you see?
I see myself standing at a crosswalk, pushing that button that I never know if it really does anything or not, or if I'm on candid camera. And I'm just standing there waiting for the light to say, to be green, have that hand flashing at me that it's okay to walk across the street.
Mhm. What's the feeling when you're looking at this image?
I am feeling like I'm about to embark on an adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm kind of like excited for
Yeah.
the light to turn green and start walking across the street.
Yeah. How's your body feeling?
My body's feeling good, like happy,
Yeah. Well,
loose.
something loose. Great. Okay. So just because we're doing more of a demo, so I just want to move it along. So I'm just gonna have you park that image and we'll talk about sort of the four things at the end. But so the second prompt now is keeping mother in mind. She does not appear in the image. See an image of you crossing the road. What do you see?
I see these cars like going in both directions, driving pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
I see myself stepping back from the curb a little.
Mm-hmm. What's
Um,
the
and it
feeling?
feels like it's taking a long time for the light to turn so that I can walk.
Mm. What's the feeling as you're looking at this image?
Um, I feel a little apprehensive,
Mm-hmm.
not in not in control of like what's happening. There's a little anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
a little tightness I feel
Yeah,
in my body,
you do. Where do you feel it the most in your body? The
in my
tension.
shoulders and my upper back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Is this familiar feeling to you?
Um, yeah.
Yeah. All right, we'll park that. So now keeping father in mind, he does not appear in the image. See an image of you crossing the road. What do you see?
I see an accident that happened on the right to the right of me,
Mm-hmm.
like a car got T-boned,
Mm-hmm.
and I see a dark cloud.
Mm-hmm. What's the feeling, Beth?
Um, the feeling is um kind of like I guess it's anger that uh my adventure is kind of ruined. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel carefree anymore. I feel like there's
Mm-hmm.
danger all around.
Mm, okay. How's your body?
Uh, what body?
Mm, yeah.
I don't feel like I have a body.
Mm, mm. Oh, okay. How are you feeling right now, Beth? You've gone pretty deep with this one.
Um, I feel okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to revisit that later. Okay.
Okay.
So the final one is keeping a spiritual mentor or figure in mind. See an image of you crossing the road. What do you see?
Um, I see a little kid with balloons on the other side of the street. He's crossing with his grandmother coming my direction and I'm going the opposite direction.
Hmm.
Uh, there's a sweetness about him and his relationship with his grandmother.
Hmm.
Sun is out.
How are you feeling?
Well, I feel connected to everything around me.
Hmm.
I feel an openness in my heart, my mind, a clarity in my mind.
How's your body?
Uh, peaceful, at ease. Expansive.
You can open your eyes. So what I find really interesting, and maybe the people watching or listening did that exercise. So the purpose of the exercise is to kind of see your current state. The current state is excited, adventure seeking, like loving that. Like if you're just steady state, that's where you are. The mother and father prompts really showcase the impact they kind of carry in our psychic field. And this is sort of a, instead of saying see an image of mother and describe, it's like the seeing the image, the impact. Like that person's not going to in the image, but so it's a surrogate to kind of a house environment, because our first 5, 6, 7 years of life, we're like hypnotic sponges to everything that's going on around us, where they create a psychic atmosphere. So the fact that with mother in mind, you just go, wow, trepidatious, apprehensive, not in control, and with father, it was quite deep that you went. It's just, I think it's, and that's the thing I also want to say to on this is that layers of healing go deep, 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 and that's the thing. It's like things just keep unearthing and surfacing, and the whole point is we get less of the effect of our triggers because we reach a point of choice. We're no longer as much as the gravitational pull, but actually, as you heal more deeply, which you have, you might feel the states more deeply because when you went into father, like whoa, like I felt it very, very deeply. But what I want to say is that you actually have the capacity to feel it deeply. That's why
Right.
it's surfacing now. Does that resonate at all? I mean,
Totally, totally resonates.
yeah, and it's just like, and again, to not be at the effect of it because you've kind of made such strides where you like you live your life. The pain is the pain. You alchemize some of it, you transmute some of it. It's a little bit like the trauma, if I can almost paint a visual, it's like our soul gets caked in by all of our conditioning, and then through the painful experiences, we heal something, and a fractal of soul shows up. And a fractal, I mean, can I
I
share some of
love
your
that.
fractals?
What?
Can I share some of your fractals? So
Yeah, you can share my fractals.
like juicy mango, spicy, diamond. It's like phenomenal, right? And but it's hard won. You work through the pain, you get a fractal of self. Before you know it, all these fractals show up. And every time you reclaim a fractal, you actually have more capacity to go deeper into the pain. You alchemize the pain, you get deeper into your sense of wholeness. And then you get more whole, you go in deeper pain. You get deeper pain, you get whole. So, but the whole point is you get deeper and deeper and deeper to the point where you feel more and more of yourself. That's a wizened soul that has had all these experiences, but no longer acting reactively, to them. Like you can acknowledge this happened. This is my story. And it's sad and I'm angry, but I'm not at the effect of it. I mean, is that your
Yeah.
experience? That's how I
Yeah, that's
feel.
totally my experience. And I don't really get how it works, but I know that it works. Like, like it's not
I know
something.
no one ever is able to really truly define it because, and God knows people have really tried because it can sound so kind of like, what is this? You see an image and then you
And
heal?
is the
What
image
is that?
real? And like,
Yeah, right.
no, it's like it's not a real image. It's
No,
not a
it's not. Right.
story. I'm not mired in a story.
Right. It's almost like I remember like listening to a podcast ages ago, like Bessel van der Kolk said that trauma gets stored in the brain really differently than regular images. For whatever reason, the trauma file has a very strong, vivid experience to it. So I kind of combine eidetics thinking about it in that way, which is you have a stuck emotion that's really intense. It's a really strong thing. So immediately it's see an image of a situation now. If it's pinging back to a historical hurt and pain, you'll retrieve a file and an image will form around that emotion.
Wow.
That's how it feels like that happens because, like you said, some of these images, did that really happen? Was I
No.
actually in an apple tree with mom when I was 4? Probably not. Okay. But somehow that pain of the rejection or whatever is stored in such a visceral way that whatever's going on now, where maybe there's a moment you don't feel seen, you're on a call with somebody, you don't feel seen, you work it, it takes you back to that moment, retrieving of the not feeling seen. And it's almost like that projects an image out and you see mom and you're at an apple tree, which it might never have happened, but it gives then the way for the image to work through. It
Right.
gives a way for the feelings to be digested because it got stuck at 4 years old. So you almost have to go back to that age for the image or the feeling to resolve itself.
Well, it does, and it feels, I mean, I've been in situations where something currently triggers that deep pain and despair, and it
Yeah,
is like I'm 3 years old. That's what it feels
right.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
for
want
sure.
to let's do the actual thing we said we maybe we should do unless we you think
Yeah.
we okay. But I'm curious about the spiritual mentor figure image. What was the feeling? Because I do think the father image sort of hijacked that image a bit. I think there was something really pleasant about the child crossing.
Yeah.
I wanted us to actually talk about this in the father and the depth piece because I almost want you to re-experience that. Because there's a high in that image that I felt the father thing clouded. So I'm just going to have you kind of go back to that image of the spiritual mentor and figure.
Okay.
Okay? Because now that we've sort of talked about mother and father, we've, kind of digested that a bit. So I just want you to kind of really clean feel for that. So see an image of you crossing the road with a spiritual mentor or figure in mind. They do not appear in the image. What do you see?
So different than what I saw before.
Is it?
No, it's the
No,
same.
it can be the same. Yeah, I'm just curious about the feelings because I'm
Um,
wondering the
it
feelings more vaguely.
feels it feels expansive.
Yeah,
It feels like there's a lot of sweetness and tenderness, like in the relationship between the grandmother and the little boy.
yeah.
And he's carrying balloons, and he looks like he's really excited about wherever it is that he's going with his grandmother.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, and it's fun to like as we're both crossing the road, like we smile at each other and there's an
Uh-huh.
acknowledgement of one another. We see each other.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, like that. That's our cue. Like that is when Beth is complete with feeling the juice of the image. It's like that. So in the image, was there any sort of desire to get closer or just really enjoying the glance and the smile?
I'm just enjoying the encounter.
Okay, so I want you to feel that experience of sweetness and tenderness in your body. Really allow it to saturate your body. Just take a few moments to do that. And tell me what happens or if another image arises from there.
I feel a like a relaxation in my lower body
Mm-hmm.
and an opening of my heart and my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just peacefulness.
Gracefulness. Okay. So that's great because now we're going to actually dovetail into that image, taking the state of consciousness into it. So we kind of used this to give us the state of consciousness, which is that of the relaxation, the peacefulness, the tenderness, the sweetness, all of that you experienced, right? It's a sense of, it's a fractal of, again, of your essence, of yourself. You know, what the spiritual mentor and the figure does is not that they suddenly open you up and pour this into you, is that they allow you to access that part of yourself. So clearly, Beth, there is a sweetness, tenderness, peacefulness, and a relaxation that's available to you that's part of your makeup. So it's about touching your essence and really tasting it for yourself. Do you resonate with that? Does that feel?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So just really sink into that because it will make where we're going next. Um, It'll give you a leg up on that because we're doing it in reverse, but it's good because it might provide a quicker resolution to what we're looking at. So just see an image, and this is what we talked about, maybe doing a situation or person that's a bit difficult at this moment. So see an image of a difficult situation or person. What do you see?
I see a person who, like it's a situation where somebody who called to ask about my services was supposed to do something to follow up and didn't, and kind of uh wasn't very nice to me about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of see me and this person uh really with angry feelings on both of our parts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how are you, what's going on in your heart and your body as you see?
I'm really closed off. I'm like, I'm right, you're wrong. Uh, yeah, I'm not wanting to deal with it. I know I
Mm-hmm.
have to.
And you're both like, so the image, I just want to make sure I see it with you. So you're both kind of like going after each other. Like
Mhm.
she owes
Well,
you a
I'm not
call.
saying anything. She's acting out, but I'm like, I'm feeling inside how she's feeling
She's
and what she's
acting
saying.
out.
Yeah.
What is she saying? Like,
She's saying you should have done this, you should have handled it this way. She's shitting
oh,
on me.
okay. So, okay, she's okay. So she's doing all the, you should have done this and this and this. And then you're actually feeling closed off. You're not
Yeah,
feeling
very closed off.
angry. You're not engaging.
I'm not engaging, but I'm pretty angry about the
You are angry,
situation.
right? Okay. I want you to access the anger because closed off is a different energy because I'm feeling anger. So I want
Oh yeah, I'm definitely angry.
so you're feeling angry, you're kind of just
Ah,
going into that protective thought for anger. You're trying to protect you and her from the wrath that
right.
wants to come out, right? Is that
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to be an adult about it, but feeling like a child.
So interestingly, in this situation, before I go into perspective taking, that can give us more information. I actually, because you've accessed, this is how fluid this works, by the way, and because Beth has you've been doing it forever, we can dance like this, you know. And so I just want you to actually touch that part of you that is that sweet, tender, you know, relaxed, peaceful part. Can you kind of like access that right now as you're even looking at this image?
Yep.
Okay. So that is now your ground of being, okay? So I want you to, in that ground of being, feel in the image, because again, the expression of energy in an image represents justice and release. Doesn't mean you do this in real life, but if you can exercise and use this image to release this pent upness, it gives you freedom. So I'm actually inviting you amidst this ground of sweetness, tenderness, relaxation, peace. Let her have it. Is it a her or a him?
It's a her.
Let her have it. Give expression to your anger, to your closed offness. Just give expression. Let the image unfold where you know you've supported by a ground and see what comes up. Don't force it. If you're not ready to express, that's okay. But I want to see what the image will do if you give yourself permission to do that in the image.
So I'm saying, what the actual,
Yeah.
the actual lady. Uh, like we both should have handled this situation differently. This isn't just you, it's not just me, but let's own our mistake and let's try to solve the problem rather than right fighting right now.
Mhm. So there's an authority I sense. This is somewhat like almost like
Yep.
a sword-like authority. It's not vindictive. It's not, it's got like part of that clarity from that spiritual figure image almost. It felt
Mm.
like. So how does it feel to say those words?
It feels a lot less scary than I thought it would.
Okay. Yeah. So you express it. And how do you, after this expression, it's not scary, but how do you feel? Do you feel expressed? Do you feel
I
this?
feel empowered and I feel like I handled it. The expression was not as harsh as I thought it was going to be.
Right, right, right. How does that feel to actually handle yourself in that way? Because you're bringing your soul qualities into the expression. So there's very responsible expression of something that was distressing, right? So it's like, see that you've done that. You are proud of the way that you're handling it. It's not harsh. It's just clear and authoritative and empowered. So what is that biofeedback that you get from that?
I feel strong.
Yeah. Where do you feel? Where do you feel in your body,
I
Beth?
feel it in my solar plexus.
Yeah. I can feel that.
I feel it in my legs, my
Hmm.
upper thighs,
Yeah.
and I feel a clarity in my mind.
Great. Great. How does so that's great. I want you to just feel those feelings. They're like cooking in you. Terrific. How does she respond? Like what goes on if you kind of take the image further? Does she have a response to your expression?
She actually expresses an apology, a real apology, and takes ownership of her part of the situation.
How does that feel to see that, to
It
hear that?
feels validating.
Mm-hmm. hmm Is there any desire, and what does validation or validating feel like in your body? Like that she's actually responding this way. So you've already felt empowered, you felt the solar plexus, you felt all of it strong. She's pretty much reflecting, you're right. I can do better. I'm sorry. And then it validates. What does validation feel like in your heart and your body?
Hmm. It feels like just a softness,
Mm.
of being able to let down my guard.
Mm. See that you do. See that you let down your guard, that there is room to be empowered and strong and validated and being soft and being able to really relax. Can you see that kind of combining in your body? How
Yep,
does it feel, that sort of soft, strong? How does that feel in your body?
it feels awesome.
Yeah. And actually, as you let your guard down, you were saying something, Beth? I didn't mean to cut you off.
It feels like, it's awesome to feel strong and soft at the same time.
Yeah. So you feel that, right?
Hmm.
So as you kind of go into the soft, strong feeling, how does now actually what I want to have you do is in the soft, strong place, just look into her eyes. Just kind of see what you see as you kind of turn your gaze to her. Because she's witnessing all of these changes in you, right? She's witnessed that you took the position to speak your truth in an empowered, strong way, which allowed her actually to do the right thing and own up to her part. And it allowed you to feel validated and it softened. So there's a progression that you sense, right? That you feel. So I'm curious at this moment, just if you look into her eyes, what do you see or sense that she's seeing? Or what do you see in her first and maybe sense what she's kind of picking up?
So what I see in her is somebody who is like having an aha moment
Uh-huh.
and able to see two sides to the situation.
Mm. So she's getting it. Some light bulbs are going on for her.
Uh-huh.
How does it feel to see that she's getting it?
It feels good. It feels like a recognition of both of our humanness, you know?
Yeah. And also just the fact that like the feeling good, what I'm sensing is like your actions and your whatever, however you've worked it, allowed for this. So it gives her clarity. So the sense of like feeling good, like I'm feeling kind of like, I don't know, like a depth in you that's like, okay, I afforded this experience for her.
Mm,
Do you feel that?
yeah.
Okay. So just a couple more prompts. I just want you to see now through her eyes, she sees you. What do you see?
Sh You mean what does she see?
Yeah, so you're going to be able to see through her eyes, she sees you. What do you see?
So she sees a broader Beth than she saw before.
Hmm. Hmm. Help me see the broader Beth with you and
So
her.
she doesn't see me just as somebody who's making her life difficult, but she sees me as trying to solve her problem.
Hmm. Hmm. How does that feel to see that?
It feels awesome to be more fully seen than just a one-dimensional aspect of myself.
Yeah. So see that part of you that's actually this almost reflected by her seeing you like a problem solver. It's really just about helping solve the problem, right? Like I just have you look at that fractal of yourself and, see what, as you see that about yourself, what happens in your heart and your body.
It feels expansive,
Yeah.
feels like an opening.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you okay that we stop here?
Yeah, totally.
Otherwise, you'd have a 3 hour podcast on your hand.
That'd be interesting.
Right. Yeah. So how was that for you? Like just globally
Really
starting
good.
to
Really
filter down
good. It
into.
feels very representative of our work together. I hope that it gives people a taste of what it's like to work with you because the work is really, really powerful and has had a profound impact on my life.
Yeah. Well, thank you for just suggesting that we speak. I'm always very respectful because you've been a client and that, what you've decided to share and just the generosity of using the space to highlight the work and, all of it's wonderful. Thank you for that, really.
You're amazing, Seema. Is there anything else you want people to know about you?
Um, to know about me. Oh my God, what would people want to know about me? I don't know. What do people want to know about me? I mean, I guess like the thing, and I kind of alluded to earlier, the sort of the sweet spot of people that I tend to work with are like people 35 and up. Again, some of that information is on my website too, but I find that that's because I started my work at 39, this whole piece of it. And it's like the first half is building an identity, and the second half is like a certain life that wants to live through, that wants to come out. So it usually comes out as anxiety, depression, relationship problems, and that's tends to be the set of people I work with because I came at it that way,
Right.
and I think it's just people, even in this conversation, they're going to be able to pick up whether this energy is somebody or they want to sit across from because that's what I do. Like whoever reaches out, I schedule an intro Zoom call, and within that, there is a depth of discussion of is there a flow? As you know, I love dancing, and so I'm always like gauging if there's rhythm and flow because this work is about dancing. It is about like what we just did, I think even demonstrated it's like we're moving. I'm moving in your image and we're moving. We're like, and so just feeling comfortable with the person on the other end, that's it. I think the only thing I'll say is whatever I'm doing, it's just this like 52 years in the making, this idea of like, what nourishes, what feeds me. And that's the thing that I get very excited when I work with people and they find fractals of their wholeness that nourishes them from within and they can live then from that deep nourishment without. That's exciting to me. So I
That
don't know if
is
that's
very
the one thing.
exciting.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's the one thing I want people to know about me. I don't even know what I want people to know about me. This is an experience. I'm grateful for it. And I just welcome anybody who feels that it's a good rhythm or a good sense that they get out of this to reach out to me. That's it.
That's awesome. And Seema's website is seemadasani.com, and I'll have all that information in the notes and all of that stuff. Thank you,
Great.
Seema.
Thank you, Beth.
I so appreciate you.
Thank you. Same, likewise, likewise.
All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in and stay tuned for more.